Hello students, today we are going to start reading from page number 32 of chapter number 3, computer virus, and the topic is malware. The term malware is made up of two words. First is malicious, second is software. It is a generic term used for such programs that enter into a computer and damage it without the user's knowledge. So it is a generic term that is used for programs that will enter into your computer and damage it without the knowledge of the users. Malware not only interrupts the normal functioning of a computer but also steals important information. Malware is held responsible for disrupting the normal functioning of the computer as well as stealing an important information. It is any software unintentionally designed to cause damage to a computer, server, client or computer network. Programs can also be considered malware if they secretly act against the interest of the computer user. Malware can be used against individuals to gain information such as personal identification, numbers or details, bank or credit card numbers, and even passwords of the websites. Some examples of data stealing malware are Bankos. It is an information stealer that waits for the user to access banking websites, and while surfing it steals the sensitive information. This virus will wait for the user to access the banking website, and while the user is surfing on the banking website it will steal the sensitive information. Next, second is Gator. It secretly monitors web surfing habits and sends this information to its user. It will secretly monitor the web surfing habits of the user, what user surf on the internet, what user do on the internet, and then send this information to its server, which then throws related pop-up advertisement. What you surf on the internet, then you will get the related pop-up messages or advertisement regarding that thing. Next is computer worms. A worm is similar to a virus in design and it is considered to be a subclass of a virus. So, worm is similar to virus and it is considered to be a subclass of a virus. Unlike virus, it is self-replicating program, that is having the capability to spread without any human intervention. It will spread into the system without the need of any human action. Due to this self-replicating nature, the end result in most cases is heavy consumption of system memory, because it starts replicating itself and it will cause the heavy consumption of the memory, causing web servers, network servers, individual computers to stop responding, and it will even cause network server, web servers and even the individual computer to stop responding. It is a standalone malware computer program that replicates itself in order to spread to other computers. It often uses the computer network to spread itself, relying on security failures on the target computer to access it. It will use the machine as a host to scan and infect other computers. It then control and infecting more and more computers in a short time. In recent worm attacks, such as the much talked about Blaster worm, this worm was designed to tunnel into a system and allowed malicious users to control computers remotely. It will create a tunnel into a system and it will allow the malicious users to control the computers remotely while sitting on that computer, without sitting on that computer physically. Next is Trojan horse. The name Trojan horse is derived from the wooden horse used by Greek army to conquer the city of Troy. The Trojan horse at first glance will appear to be a useful software but will actually damage the computer once it is installed. The name is derived from the wooden horse that is used by the Greek army to conquer the city of Troy. If you look at this software at first glance, it will appear as a useful software, but actually it will damage the computer once it is installed in it. It is any malware which misleads users of its true intent. Users are typically tricked by some form of social engineering into loading and executing Trojans on their systems. For example, when a user is duped in executing an email attachment disguised to appear not suspicious, or by clicking on some fake advertisements on social media or anywhere else. They do not attempt to infect themselves into other files, otherwise propagate themselves. They will propagate themselves. Users on the receiving end of a Trojan horse are usually tricked into opening them. Users on the receiving end are tricked to open that virus. Trojans have different behavior once they gain access into the system. For example, some Trojans change the background by adding silly desktop icons. Some will change the background by adding silly desktop icons on it. Some will prevent application from running, especially antivirus application. It will prevent the antivirus application from running into your system. Trojans are also known to create a backdoor on a computer that gives an easy and unauthorized access to malicious user. It also creates a backdoor. Using that backdoor, unauthorized users or malicious users can gain access to your system and allowing your confidential or personal information to be compromised. Your personal information, your credit card number, your password will be leaked to an unauthorized hands. Unlike viruses and worms, Trojans do not reproduce by infecting other files, nor they do self-replicate. They do not reproduce by infecting more and more files, nor they do self-replication without the need of human intervention. They require human action to run. They require the human action to run. Only when the human will install this in the system, only then it will run on your computers. Spyware. Spyware is a type of malicious software that gains entry into a system and monitors the user activity without his knowledge and then reveals the collected information to another interested party. Spyware is also a type of malicious software that gains entry into the system and monitors the user activity without the knowledge of the user and then reveals the collected information about the user to another interested party. It is a type of malware that aims to gather information about a person or an organization without their knowledge and send such information to hack another entity without the consumer's consent. It asserts control over a device without the consumer's knowledge, sending confidential information to another entity with the consumer's consent through cookies. Spyware programs can collect various types of personal information such as internet surfing habits, visited web pages, passwords, and even credit card numbers. So spyware programs can collect information about the personal details such as your internet surfing habit, web pages that you had visited, passwords you use while visiting the social networking websites, and even the credit card numbers. They have the ability to scan files on the hard drive, snoop other applications such as chat programs or word processors. Spyware programs have the ability to scan the files on the hard drive. They can even snoop into the other applications such as chat programs or word processor. While doing so, they consistently transmit this information in the background to someone else who will either sell the information to another party or use it for advertising or marketing purposes. So Spyware programs have the ability to scan the files on the hard drive. They can even snoop into your applications such as chat programs or the word processor. While doing so, they consistently transmit the collected information in the background to someone else who can either sell that information to another party, or use it for advertising or marketing purposes. Sometimes they also change the computer settings, which results in slow connection speed and wrong functionality of other programs. Sometimes spyware programs can also change your computer settings, which results in slow connection speed. Your connection speed will be low, wrong functionality of other programs. You will indulge into these kinds of changes in your computer, and meanwhile they can hack the important information, your personal details, and in the background they can transmit it to someone else or unauthorized hands, who can even sell the information to another party, or they can use it for the marketing purposes. Fact file. In 1981, Richard Skrenta wrote Elk Cloner, the first computer virus to appear outside a single computer or lab where it was created. Elk Cloner was one of first known microcomputer viruses that spread in the wild, that is outside the computer system or laboratory in which it was written. It attached itself to the Apple II operating system and spread by floppy disk. Let's know more. Stealth viruses are difficult to detect by antivirus software, as they use various methods to avoid detection. It is a type of virus malware that contains sophisticated means of avoiding detection by antivirus software. Stealth virus can take control of many parts of one's PC. When taking control of the PC and performing tasks, antivirus program can detect it, but a stealth virus sees that coming and will rename and then copy itself to different drive on the on the disk ahead of the antivirus software. Once moved and renamed, a stealth virus will usually replace the defective file with a clean file that does not trigger antivirus detection. In this way, they can easily hide itself from the antivirus software by replacing the detected infected file with the clean file. That means there is no virus in the system, so it will easily hide itself from the antivirus program. Fact file. The Morris worm was unleashed on November 2, 1988 by Robert Tappan Morris, which disrupted almost 10% of computers that were on internet then. It was one of the first computer worms distributed via the internet and the first to gain significant mainstream media attention. It was a self-replicating program at Cornell University. The virus spread much faster than Morris originally expected. The worm ended up infecting systems. The impact proved major damages and widespread outages. It is also recognized as the Internet worm or the Great Worm.